Even before the crowd had fully settled at La Cartuja, the buzz had already begun. Out onto the pitch strode a boy with sun-kissed skin and striking blonde hair, exuding absolute confidence. In that moment, memories of Neymar dazzling in Barcelona colors came flooding back. But within seconds, everyone realized this was not Neymar. This was Lamine Yamal. Had Barcelona lost that night, Yamal's blonde hair would surely have been the perfect target for the Spanish media, fueling accusations of arrogance, lack of focus, and delusions of grandeur. But fear not, this is Lamine Yamal, a true superstar in the making. And sure enough, in the 84th minute, with Barcelona under immense pressure and trailing, Yamal produced a moment of magic that even the most seasoned cameraman could not anticipate. The ball bounced perfectly, meeting the stride of Ferran Torres, slipping past the white shirts and eluding Courtois, who had no chance to intervene. Barcelona equalized at the moment they needed it most. Yamal flashed a confident smile as if it had all been written in his own script. And maybe, just maybe, it was. Before the match, in a conversation at the team hotel with Ronald Araujo, Yamal boldly declared, "If we concede 1, no problem. Even if we concede 2, it does not matter. This year they cannot beat us." And on the pitch, Yamal backed up every word, with the poise of a true star. It was not just his brilliance on the ball. Yamal showed a rare calmness at 16 years old. In the first half, he cunningly provoked Dani Ceballos, who lost control and slapped him across the face in full view of the stadium. It was a blatant act, yet referee Ricardo de Burgos Bengoteque turned a blind eye. But the real story was not the referee's decision. It was the way Yamal made his opponent fall into the trap and self-destruct. With nothing but a sly grin, Yamal drove Real Madrid mad. No retaliation, no swinging arms, just pure football, psychological warfare, and total control like a seasoned master. Calling Yamal the ultimate Gen Z footballer would not be wrong. Skilled, mentally sharp, confident in pre-match declarations, and most importantly, someone who always delivers. Every time Yamal posts a simple story like, "On a mission" on Instagram, you can bet he will light up the pitch the next day. Against Bayern Munich, an assist for the opener. Against Dortmund, a decisive goal. Against the Netherlands at the Nations League, another strike. And last night, against Real Madrid, he crafted 2 brilliant assists to turn the match on its head at their very fortress. It is not just his on-field mastery. Yamal knows exactly how to choose his moments to strike psychologically, too. Before the final, while Real Madrid TV launched videos attacking referees, while Florentino Perez orchestrated mind games, and while Dani Ceballos and Luka Modric threw dirty looks in the tunnel, Yamal responded with nothing but a photo. A simple caption, yet it spoke louder than any press conference. No noise, no arguments. Yamal's silence hit harder than 1,000 words. One brief sentence that pierced straight into Madrid's hearts. When an angry Real fan account fired back, sneering, "You think you are Ronaldo now? So arrogant?" Yamal simply smiled and thought to himself, not arrogance, but pure pride. And once the ball was kicked, Yamal made all the noise he needed with his feet. No more talking. He orchestrated 2 goals, drove Real Madrid to despair, and helped Barcelona claim glory. The first goal, the masterpiece by Pedri, owed much to Yamal's magic. Before Pedri unleashed his strike, at least 3 Real defenders were completely hypnotized by Yamal's movements in the deadly Zone 14, just outside the penalty area. They chased shadows, forgetting their real job. The best thing about Yamal, he is not the kind who talks big and hides behind teammates when the match gets tough. On the pitch, he demanded the ball, constantly pressed the opposition, and played with the presence of a seasoned leader. 17 years old, yet carrying himself with the authority of a veteran. Even when Barcelona fell behind 2-1, Yamal stayed composed, orchestrating attacks, linking up plays, and relentlessly pressing Real's defense. Not a hint of panic, no sign of immaturity. For those who once mocked his Instagram boasts as childish, this final served as a thunderous rebuttal. He talks the talk, and he walks the walk. A young star who dares to dream, dares to challenge, and dares to back it all up with brilliant performances that even the harshest critics must respect. A big character, a big spirit, and a master class in psychological warfare throughout the entire season. And that is not all. Let us talk about Yamal as a person. Just days ago, there were still skeptics questioning his true age, some even calling for an investigation into his birth certificate. But after that magical night, everyone had no choice but to nod in agreement. Yamal is indeed just 17 years old. Even before the crowd had fully taken their seats at La Cartuja, the buzz had already erupted. Right in front of them was a boy with sun-kissed skin and striking blonde hair, stepping onto the pitch with total confidence. For a moment, memories of Neymar lighting up the field for Barcelona came flooding back, but within seconds, everyone realized this was not Neymar. This was Lamine Yamal. Had Barcelona lost that night, Yamal's blonde hair would surely have become the perfect target for a storm of criticism in the Spanish press, accusations of arrogance, lack of focus, and delusions of grandeur. But rest assured, this is Lamine Yamal, a real superstar, and rightfully so. In the 84th minute, with Barcelona stretched tight under the pressure of trailing, Yamal unleashed a moment of magic that even the most seasoned cameramen could not anticipate. The ball bounced perfectly into the path of Ferran Torres, sneaking past the wall of white shirts, just soft enough that Courtois could not rush out in time. Barcelona equalized at the perfect moment. Yamal flashed a radiant smile, full of confidence, as if everything had been scripted in advance. And perhaps it truly had. Right before the match at the team hotel, speaking with Ronald Araujo, Yamal boldly stated, "If we concede 1 goal, it does not matter. If we concede 2, it still does not matter. This year they cannot beat us." And on the pitch, Yamal backed up every single word, playing with the aura of a true star. It was not just brilliance on the ball. Yamal showed an ice-cold mind rarely seen at 16 years old. Early in the first half, he cleverly provoked Dani Ceballos into losing control, slapping him across the face in the middle of the field. A blatant act, yet referee Ricardo de Burgos Bengochek chose to ignore it. But the real story was not the referee's decision. It was how Yamal lured his opponent into self-destruction. With just a sly smile, Yamal drove Real Madrid mad. No retaliation, no unnecessary gestures, just pure football, effortless provocation, and psychological dominance like a master. You could call Yamal the ultimate Gen Z footballer. Skilled, sharp-minded, unafraid to declare before matches, and most importantly, someone who always delivers. Every time Yamal posted a story like "on a mission" on Instagram, you could be sure he would leave his mark in the very next game. Against Bayern Munich, an assist for the opening goal. Against Dortmund, a decisive strike. Against the Netherlands in the Nations League, another goal. And last night against Real Madrid, he crafted 2 world-class assists that turned the match upside down in enemy territory. It was not just about the quality on the ball. Yamal knew exactly how to pick his moments to outwit his rivals. When Real Madrid TV pushed out videos attacking the referee, when Florentino Perez stirred the psychological warfare, when Dani Ceballos and Luka Modric threw glares in the tunnel, Yamal simply responded with a photo. Just a few words, but with a heavyweight punch. No noise, no arguments. Yamal's silent response echoed louder than any outburst. A single statement that pierced right through the Realistas' hearts. When an angry Real fan account sneered, "You think you are Ronaldo? So arrogant," Yamal simply smiled and thought, not arrogance, but pure pride. And once the match began, Yamal let his football do all the talking. 2 assists, driving Real Madrid to the brink of despair, helping Barcelona lift the crown. Pedri's masterpiece of a goal was born from Yamal's magic moments earlier. Before Pedri struck, at least 3 white shirts were completely mesmerized by Yamal's tricks right outside the penalty area. They chased him like moths to a flame and forgot the real threat. The greatest thing about Yamal? He is not the kind to boast and then hide behind teammates when the going gets tough. On the pitch, he demanded the ball, relentlessly pressed, and led like a true veteran. 17 years old, but with the calm and command of a seasoned leader. Even when Barcelona were trailing 2-1, Yamal stayed composed, orchestrating attacks, coordinating seamlessly, and pressing Real Madrid's defense to the brink. No panic, no fear, just pure competitive spirit. Anyone who once thought his Instagram boasts were childish now has their answer. He talks, he delivers. A young star who dares to dream, dares to challenge, and backs it all up with breathtaking performances, a big personality, a big spirit, and a season-defining show of brilliance. But there is more. When Yamal celebrated with Ansu Fati and Alejandro Balde, dancing wildly under the camera lights with his sunglasses on, it reminded everyone, behind that cold, lethal exterior, he is still a joyful, carefree boy at heart. After delivering a world-class assist, Yamal even sought out the nearest camera to reenact the iconic Jordan shrug, arms spread, a playful smile that said, "Yeah, I am that good, add the sunglasses," and it was pure swag. This was not blind arrogance. It was confidence earned through hard work, backed by performance, not empty words. A touch of bad boy flair, but delivered with grace and authenticity. After the final whistle, Yamal did not lose control. He strolled calmly to the technical area, arms draped over his teammates, laughing and dancing like kids on a playground. It was during those joyful, spontaneous TikTok dances that it truly hit everyone. This kid is only 17 years old, a teenager who had taken Ansu Fati's starting spot, yet still danced side by side with him without a trace of bitterness. Not everyone can forge that kind of bond naturally. The way Yamal treated his family after the match was equally admirable. The moment he left the pitch, he found his little brother, lifted him up, placed sunglasses on him, and beamed with happiness. While many young stars today would rush to find a camera for attention, Yamal chose to share his victory with his loved ones, a rare maturity in modern football. Perhaps the most beautiful moment came when Yamal shook hands with every Real Madrid player, from Endrick and Lucas Vazquez to Vinicius Jr. and Brahim Diaz. Only Jude Bellingham seemed distant, and Yamal did not force it. No arrogance, no grudges, just pure sportsmanship. A small gesture, but one that set social media ablaze with praise. Even hardcore Real Madrid fans had to admit the 17-year-old showed more class than many seasoned veterans. The football world had to concede. If he is already this mature at 17, imagine what he will become. A rare gem combining Neymar's flair, Messi's qualities, Cristiano Ronaldo's pride, and Carles Puyol's humility. A perfect recipe for legend, if he stays the course. Few can command silence in an El Clasico. Fewer still can win respect with a smile, with effortless mastery. Lamine Yamal, just 17 years old, taught the world a lesson in character and poise at Sevilla. In less than 2 years, Yamal had already outshone Kylian Mbappé 5 times in 6 head-to-head battles, a story that would have sounded like a joke back in 2024 when Mbappé was still with Paris Saint-Germain. Now, it is a reality Yamal has carved into the turf, from Paris to the semifinals of Euro 2024, and into this season's fierce El Clasicos. The way he quietly lifted the small trophy, standing tall among his jubilant teammates, sunglasses on, eyes gazing toward even greater heights, evoked memories of Lionel Messi after the legendary La Remontada. But with one difference, Yamal stood alone, radiant and untouchable. Yamal's numbers at 17 leave even the harshest skeptics speechless. Champion of Euro, La Liga, Copa del Rey, and Supercopa de España, 48 goal contributions for Barcelona, 19 caps and 12 goals for the national team, countless individual honors including the Golden Boy Award, Copa Trophy, Euro Young Player of the Tournament, and a place in the FIFA FIF Pro World 11. A resume most players can only dream of, and Yamal is just getting started. One last priceless detail: the moment Yamal shook hands with King Felipe VI of Spain, with composure and confidence, no nervousness. In the delicate context between Catalonia and Spain, that handshake symbolized something greater, a national treasure in the making. After all the dazzling plays, all the timely provocations, all the moments of icy composure, there he was again, dancing wildly with teammates, flashing that unbreakable, carefree smile. Sevilla that night was not just a place of triumph. It became a playground for spontaneous joy, a stage for freedom soaring alongside glory. Lamine Yamal, a true superstar, a mischievous little brother who made the world marvel and smile at once. And that night in Sevilla, his own symphony played loud and clear. playful, joyful, and utterly unstoppable.